Hey guys, hello October. We are officially in October. I am so excited. I wanted to say that I am officially back from Disney. It was amazing. I do want to go back. If you're not following me already, follow me on my Instagram page, and I will link it down below as well as in the beginning of the video, hopefully. But today's video is going to be about HlHS and how my heart condition can play a big role in the rest of my body and why it plays a big role and affects other organs or organ. As some of you know, that when you have a single ventricle, it's a lot for your heart to handle, let alone the rest of the body. And I do want to say this, not every single person, I learned this through my journey with hypoplastic left heart syndrome for 28 years. I am a person who has hypoplastic left heart syndrome for 28 years, but I also learned that not every single person that has HlHS has the same symptoms. Does not have the same symptoms. And that is why I wanted to go straight into this video and talk about HlHS and my liver. Why is your liver so important with a person that has hypoplastic left heart syndrome? Why? The first thing is, what is a liver? What does a liver do? Your liver obviously cleans all the bad stuff. It's like a washing machine in your body, and it constantly cleans and toxics and makes sure that your liver does what it's supposed to be doing by cleaning it. And now, can a person live without a liver? Absolutely not. But you can donate half of a liver and still live. You could donate your half of a liver if you're a match to somebody else. Now, with me, my history with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, I wanted to go straight on into the video and talk about my liver and where it is at the moment. I grew up with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. I still have it till this day, thank God. I am blessed to come to my 28 years of life, and knock on wood, I do struggle here and there, but I wouldn't change my life for the world. With my liver now, my cardiologist, I should say, started noticing about my size of my liver. So I'm in middle school, 8th grade, and my cardiologist sent me to a gastroenterologist, which is a doctor that specializes in liver, but he didn't send me to any liver doctor. He sends me to a doctor that deals with Fontan patients who have liver issues. And I started seeing a liver doctor in 2006. I'm sorry. Where did 2010 come from? 2006. And I, started seeing one just for the growth of my liver. They biopsied it. Everything came back normal just to see, just because it's large, can it harm her in any shape or form, whatever. Everything came back normal. And when my GI doctor said everything looks good, we will just have to follow up with you every 6 months, just as if you're going to a cardiologist every 6 months. So twice a year I would go to a cardiologist, and twice a year I would go to a gastroenterologist. And I had no problem with that, I had not a single problem. And my liver had started to grow so much to the point where my liver started getting scarring. And due to the scarring, it caused me to have fibrosis. I want to make sure I say this in the order that it happened, because it's going to all make sense at the end of this video, hopefully, if I don't lose my train of thought. And when I got diagnosed with fibrosis, like I said, your liver is such a strong organ. It cleans itself. It regenerates. I can never pronounce that word, but it like refreshes its self. And due to that, my GI doctor still kept an eye on it. Did see the fibrosis on it, and with time, it got worse. My fibrosis got worse, but it didn't affect me physically. It did not affect me. I was still able to do everything that I was doing prior to having my fibrosis. I was able to still go to school. It didn't affect me in any of my attendance in school. It didn't affect me in my school life. It did not affect me in my social life. It did not affect me in my family life. It did not affect me in one bit. My liver never bothers me. It's there. It's, it's whatever, So I went to they just kept on, keeping a very close eye on my liver. And I believe in 2010, like I said, 2006, 2010, 2006 is when I started seeing the GI doctor, but 2010, I think that's when my liver started to get a little bit more worse. And when I mean a little bit more worse is my fibrosis still, was coming. It started to be a lot more than usual. So my cardiologist had, at the time, back in 2010, I do remember the dates very well because I was just a senior in high school when all this happened. And in 2010, my cardiologist told me that I sound like a robot, but in 2010, I went to the cardiologist, and the cardiologist was like, look, your liver looks like it's getting damaged more and more each time. But they did blood work. They came to do tests on me and so forth and so on. And they did another liver biopsy in February, if I'm not mistaken, February of 2010. And still everything looked perfectly fine. But they were just afraid that something was going to happen because of all the damage to my liver. And they said, I think it's time to do a transplant on you, a heart transplant, due to the fact that your liver is going into liver failure. Like, you're going to lose your liver. Now, they're running all these tests on me, like blood work, ultrasounds, MRIs, biopsies. Did they do x-rays? I don't think they did. But I know they did, like, MRIs, biopsies, ultrasounds was another test they probably did. And they just said, my cardiologist was like, I think it's time for you to have a heart transplant. So in February, I was told that you might, we're just going to keep a close eye. So in February, when my doctor said you might need one, you might not need one. February, he said I need to talk to the rest of my team and see if we're all on the same page, and I will get back to you. So February, March, April, May, end of May, I received a phone call from my cardiologist. And my cardiologist was like, I think I think we need to do a transplant on you due to the fact that we're losing your liver, and the only way to fix it would be a heart transplant, not a liver transplant, a heart transplant. So my cardiologist was like, this is the best thing we could do for you is do a transplant and get this whole thing settled and keep it moving. And so I was like, okay, it's whatever. It's my fate. It's my destiny. I can't do anything about it. My cardiologist then tells me, all your blood work is coming back normal. All your tests are coming back normal. Every single test that they're doing on me, every single test is coming out normal. And so my cardiologist comes and says to me and calls me in and says, I think what we're going to do is not go with a transplant, but just wait. Just because, like I said, your liver fixes itself. So your liver could be so damaged in your body that people who have liver problems or have any type of liver issues won't notice it until, like, years later because they don't get any symptoms, or they don't go to the doctors and get blood work done. Excuse me, I thought I had to sneeze. Get blood work done or anything. So my cardiologist was like, everything's coming back normal. We're just gonna wait. So we're gonna, stop the transplant. I wasn't put on the list or anything at that time back in 2010. I wasn't put on the list at all. He said that everything's coming back, so we don't need to do anything whatsoever. And my liver only got damaged due to my heart condition. And the liver cirrhosis, it turned to liver, like, it went from fibrosis and, it starts fibrosis, whatever, 2008, 2009, I would say. Then 2011, 2012, around, like, after 2010, I think, it started to turn into cirrhosis. And cirrhosis is a lot more different, and it's a lot more damaging to the liver. And because of that, your liver, can only handle so much. And my pumping part of my heart is like, it puts a lot of pressure on my liver. My liver's like, whoa, hold on, I can't take this anymore. And that's when your liver goes into liver failure. At least that's what happened to me. This is actually the second part. I stopped seeing a pediatric cardiologist, and I started seeing a adult congenital heart doctor and an adult GI doctor back in 2014. So once I moved, everything moved with me. So, like, all my history moved to the hospital next door. And my GI doctor had recently, meaning last year, had ordered blood work from me. And the blood work's name was AFP, for those that are in nursing or medical or anything in that field. Let me know what that blood work is, because I don't know, but it's a blood work that they do, and they could tell how your liver functions are and what it is like and when I got that blood work done, I was told that it was very high, higher than normal. It could be, it might not be situation. So they just kept a very close eye on my liver. And after that, I was diagnosed with HCC, which I personally still don't know how to pronounce it after a good year. Let me just see. And I was diagnosed with this type of, let me see if I could do this.
Hepatocellular carcinoma. Hepatocellular carcinoma.
With that type of, I was diagnosed with liver cancer. And when I was diagnosed with it, my doctors did a lot of testing. But the first thing that they did was to get that blood work done. When I got that blood work done, when they got that blood work done, my levels were very high, and when my levels were really high, they then did more testing. I was going to say more blood work. They didn't do any more blood work. They did MRIs, ultrasounds, and a liver biopsy. All 3 more tests on me to make sure that every single test that they did, because of my AFP levels were so high, and it jumped from like some numbers last year to this number this year. So like it inclined really, really quickly. And when it inclined really quickly, my GI doctor was very concerned more of my MP, which is my nurse practitioner that also works with me and the doctor as well. And she said, we have to do some more testing on you. So they did like the MRI, the ultrasound, and the biopsy. The biopsy was the last test that they did on me, and the biopsy was like the bam in the face, like we finally have the answer. We finally know what she's got. And when I got that test done, it was my biopsy was normal, but they were able to diagnose me right away, and I was diagnosed with that HCC, which is I'm still trying to learn how to pronounce it. God forgive me. Hepatocarcinoma, something like that. And it is a cancer in the liver. So I got diagnosed with cancer in my liver, and when I got diagnosed with it, it put a big shock on everybody. My doctors, like cardiologist, my GI department, but I don't see a oncology doctor. I see a intravenous radiologist. When I see an intravenous radiologist, he treats the type of cancer that I have. And the cancer that I have, it is in the liver. And apparently...
Hepatocellular.
There you go. That is the thing of my... let me see if I could do this. Excuse me, it's like 11:40 right now. And when I got diagnosed with this, my doctors said that it's time to do a double organ transplant. So,
hepatocellular carcinoma, hepatocellular carcinoma, hepatocellular.
And my doctors said that it's time to, do a double organ transplant. And now, as a person who has hyperplastic left heart syndrome, and to do a double organ transplant, it's a lot. And my anatomy is completely different from somebody who doesn't have a heart problem. And it was a big shock for me, just because, like, back in 2010, I was doing so well. Obviously, I knew this was coming, but I didn't think I was going to get cancer or have cancer. But apparently you can get cancer with a heart condition. But like I said in the beginning of the video, not every person that has hyperplastic left heart syndrome has the same symptoms. And that is what bothers me the most. I don't know if that's in a good way or a bad way. I would say a bad way, because if we both have the same condition, why does one person have more symptoms than the other person? But like I said, like, doctors are humans too, and it's okay not to have the answers. But I want to make sure that you guys know what your liver does for people who have heart conditions, or at least hyperplastic left heart syndrome. You can actually, look, that's my EKG, my little heartbeat, not my actual EKG, but you can actually, hold on, if I do this, like, see my scar right there. And I don't know, like, I'm very, 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 very blessed to have the people in my life, my husband being my biggest supporter, my brothers, my mom, my dad, everybody. I'm surrounded by love, and I have a great, great team. And you know how you could say, or you could see or feel the love that when somebody gives you, I could say this with all honesty, that my doctors, that my doctors really, really care about me. And they are working around the clock to get me better. They are working around and around to make sure that I get what I need. Hopefully, if God wills it. I know this for a fact that I personally don't want... Okay, this is going to be hard to say, but I don't know how to say this, but I really love my heart condition. I truly love my heart condition. And if my doctors were to say, well, you're going to get treatments every 3 months instead of doing this transplant, I will take that in a heartbeat because I have a big connection with my heart. I don't want to let go. I don't want my heart condition to go away. I don't want my heart condition to leave. It's a sincere thing with me. It's something that I keep dear to me. I used to be afraid of talking about it. I used to be scared to talk about it. Not the fact that people would judge me. I didn't care about that, but I would just be shy or afraid to talk about it. Now it's oh, look at me, I'm posting my information on the internet with it, But I don't want to let go of my heart condition. I don't want to let go of my HlHS. I don't want it. I don't want the transplant. I don't want to let go of my liver either. If the doctor said, hey, Sibel, we're only going to take your liver, but keep your heart, I would take that in a heartbeat. And from what my understanding is and what my doctors are saying, it's not my heart that gave up. It's not my hyperplastic left heart syndrome that gave up. It is my liver that gave up. My liver went through hell and back with me. But it is the liver that God gave me. It is the heart problem that God gave me. And I wouldn't change my world for it. I love my heart problem. I love it. No matter how many how many problems I face on a daily basis due to my heart condition, I don't care. It's who I am. I don't want to let go. I want my heart to be in with me for the rest of my life, but sometimes we don't have choices in life, unfortunately. I hope this video made sense. I hope that you guys took something from this video, meaning about your liver and what your liver does to your body. I also hope that you understand that not every person that has hypoplastic left heart syndrome is going to have the same symptoms. You might not have a liver problem. I know this one person who has the same heart condition but doesn't have any liver issues whatsoever. And this was 5 years since I spoke. 5 years ago since I spoke to her, but I don't talk to her anymore. So it's really, it changes from person to person. Live the life that you deserve. Remember to love yourself first. I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. Bye, guys. Until next time, I see you guys in my next video.